I wanted to know before I left my marriage whether or not single motherhood was going to be to my detriment and my kids' detriment. And what they found was that it was all money.
What up, what up, what up? This is your boy Agree to Disagree, and I'm coming at you with some more video reviews. As always, we got some good stuff coming your way, so let's get right into it.
I met a man 3 days before my birthday, and this how it went.
So, remind you, I just met this man yesterday. He invited me to lunch. I just got back home from having lunch with him. I told him my birthday was Thursday. He know my birthday Thursday. He planning something for my birthday. I don't know. It's supposed to be a surprise. And look what this man sent me on Cash App.
Wow. Copyright. The level of simpery. The level of simpness. It's over 9,000. Oh God. Guys, do not, I repeat, do not do this. This is a prime example of how you get taken advantage of. And some of you guys might be thinking like, oh, she had a good time. What's the big deal? Okay. Imagine this scenario. Imagine this guy does all these things, cash apps her, buys her the perfume, takes her to fancy dinners and all this other stuff, flowers and all. He does all of this, and then at the end of it, she's like, meh, not my type. You would have wasted all your time, energy, and effort for a girl who's not even that into you. One of the most important things that you need to learn from this is that you can't buy love. I mean, my man might have got the booty cheeks after all it is, but all this gifts and fancy dinners isn't going to keep her around. And I know you guys heard me talk about how a man should provide, but that's something that you do gradually as the relationship progresses. Because now if you start doing all these super expensive dates and gifts right off the bat, now what you did is set the expectations up here for yourself. Don't do anything on the first date that you're not willing to do throughout the course of the relationship. You don't want her thinking that this is what life is going to be all the time, when in reality, you just blew your whole load on the first date. And she might just be sticking around for that reason alone, for the cash apps, for the flowers, for the fancy gifts, for the expensive dates. And so when all that stops, you will find yourself alone. And I know all the women are going to cheer this on, and this is how a man should treat his lady and blah, 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 blah. But ladies, ask yourself, why? This man doesn't know you from Adam. He can't say that he's doing this because you're a great person. He doesn't know you. He just met you 3 days ago, which means he's doing this just because he thinks you look good. And so if he's doing this just based off of your looks, how many other women do you think he's doing this for? And let's be honest, any man with money can do this. So, you know, depending on how much money he's making, it's really not that all impressive. If he's bringing in 20K a month, you know, that's no sweat off his back. Now, if he's bringing in 4K a month and he's doing this, then he's an idiot. And if you look at all the comments underneath the video, it just goes to show how many women think that a man spending a lot of money on a woman equates to being a good man. Fellas, get your money.
Look, no woman is going to be happy with you chasing her ass all the time. like all the
Yeah.
time. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about in the beginning when you guys are coming together. I'm talking about if you live your life chasing a woman and showing up at her doorstep and having flowers and shit and violins and, you know, all that shit, you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
The relationship is not going to last. The reality is, when you buy your way in and you become a provider and you just become like you represent provision, that's not the same as being sexually stimulating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
figured that
Like
out.
representing provision and just being a guy, yo, I'm gonna buy you a bunch of shit. Yo, that's weak.
I ain't
See,
never
guys
buy nobody
that
shit
use
again.
money, guys that use money,
never do
guys
that
that
shit
use
again.
money to sustain their relationships and use money to get their way in. That
Yeah,
shit
that was
is
me.
weak.
That
It's
was me.
weakness.
Fuck, take
It's
this
weak
dick. Let me in
because
her.
you don't believe in you enough.
Yeah.
You trying to use
way.
money.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
You gotta be
100%.
you.
Fuck
The money is an exclamation mark. The
Yeah.
money makes
I
you
agree.
more of whatever you already are.
Yeah.
But you gotta bring something to the table.
Did you hear what he said right there? He said the money is an exclamation mark, which is exactly how it should be. You want to get these women to love you for who you are, not for the flowers, the gifts, and the expensive dates. And these guys are millionaires. It ain't nothing for them to go and take a girl on an expensive date, on an expensive trip. But even they are tired of getting taken advantage of. You can even hear Mike in the background talk about, I will never buy anybody shit again. Like, my dude, wow. But I wouldn't say never buy your woman anything, but don't use gifts and expensive dates as a way to impress the woman or buy your way in. You do that as a reward or an appreciation for that woman loving you for who you actually are.
Studied exactly this in my undergrad. I wanted to know before I left my marriage whether or not single motherhood was going to be to my detriment and my kids' detriment. And what they found was that it was all money. If women found a way to be financially independent, then the kids didn't have an issue. They fared better. They were in a loving, stable home. Everything was okay. And the father could still be present, still have visitation, or if they were already not involved, that just continued. Why do you think we see so many celebrity single moms where their kids are raised just fine and everybody is just happy? It comes down to the money. Think about it, ladies.
I don't know what the hell this lady is talking about. Celebrity kids be the most dysfunctional kids out there, all on the TV, cracked out and whacked out. I don't know what the hell she talking about. But let's dissect this. She says it comes down to money, but if you're in a relationship, the fact that you have two people in the household splitting the bills, that already puts you in a financial advantage because you're not dealing with all the bills yourself. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say that she's talking about if you divorce your husband, there's a good chance you'll get alimony and child support. And I guess from that aspect, you can kind of balance the finances so you're not in a worse off financial situation. But okay, even if money wasn't affected by eliminating the father out of the picture, do you really think that kids are going around saying, I don't need a daddy as long as I got name brand clothes? I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a two-parent household, but maybe some of the viewers watching who grew up with no father around, maybe you guys can tell me how not having a daddy didn't affect you because you had money. Now, I'm not sure where she's getting her research from. The caption on the video talks about single women doing less housework than married women. I'm not sure how that relates to money being able to replace the kid's father, but I'm going to do my own research and let's see what we find out. All right, so according to the National Institute of Health, children growing up without parents is associated with a host of poor child outcomes. Children from single parent and step parent families have higher poverty rates and lower levels of educational and occupational attainment than children who grow up with both their biological or adoptive parents. It goes on to say, we conclude that children do better on average living with two biological married parents, the advantages of two-parent families are not shared equally by all, which makes sense because not all parents are created equal. You have good two-parent households and you have bad two-parent households, just like you will have a good single-parent situation and you'll have a bad single-parent situation. But 10 out of 10 times, having two good parents is always going to be better than just having one good parent. A child needs both the father and the mother in the picture. And I'll drop a link below so you can see where I pulled my research from. So I'm not sure where this woman is getting her research from. I mean, you can tell me how divorce is what's best for you, but let's not pretend that a single parent household is what's best for the children. To me, this just sounds like more feminist propaganda telling women how they don't need a man, but this time they're taking it a step further by saying the kids don't need a man either, even if it's their own father. Man, I don't know where they get this foolishness from. But hey, you guys, y'all tell me what y'all thought of the video. What points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you got anything out this video, subscribe and hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.